So what if you could get anywhere from 100% APY all the way up to 1000% APY and not worry about your investment being a rug pull? Well, in this video, I'm going to be trying out Snowball on Avalanche and their auto compound feature. So I'm going to kind of walk you through it and explain a little bit, at least from my understanding. We're going to let this sit for about a week and see what happens. So of course, there's all the DAOs going around right now that have these insane APYs that are numbers you can't even fathom. The promised Lamborghini Huracans and Tesla Roadsters, and you to be a billionaire in weeks. But there is a much more safer and realistic route that is still quite crazy when you think about it. So let's get straight on into it. So the main platform I'm going to be using today is Snowball. Now, I was looking at Yieldiac and testing out their farms, but actually all the yields are better on Snowball, and the benefit of Snowball is in addition to what you earn from the liquidity pool and the auto compound, you actually also earn a little bit of Snowball on top of that. So I'm going to explain this the best I can from my understanding of liquidity pools and farming and staking and how all this works. So essentially there is a pair that you need to provide liquidity for. So for example, this one I dabbled in last night to test before I did this video, AVAX and Penguin Finance. So this is on the Trader Joe DEX platform. So DEXs need liquidity pools, so when people buy and sell stuff, liquidity is there. Now the fees that are paid out are actually paid out to those who provide that liquidity within the pool. So your pool share determines how much you actually get. So you can see here 0.248% of the pool, which is fairly large. Total value locked is not that big, but if we take a look at this pool on Penguin Finance, you can see the APR is about 18%. Liquidity is about 4 million and the volume is about 800,000. Fees collected in the last 24 hours is $1,900. And Penguin Finance isn't that volatile. There's not a ton of trades going on there compared to some of the more popular pairs, but you can see here the base APR 44%, the compounded APY and the APR, you have your base APR, and the APY is all the stuff that's compounded upon that, because normally if you go to Trader Joe has farms. For example, if we want to find that same type of farm, on that big green tractor, baby, you can see here the APR is 46%, which is roughly the same as the one here on Snowball. So they're actually going to auto farm this for you. Now Snowball does actually take about like 5 to 10% fees themselves for doing the auto compound for you. Obviously you could sit here and harvest this, you know, all day long if you wanted to and manually do it. Now the rewards that you get is Joe on this farm here. So what Snowball actually does is they take that Joe, they sell that, and then they will actually reinvest it right back into Penguin Finance and Wrapped AVAX here in this case, and they buy more of that pair, thus getting you a bigger share of the pool, and that's how you get that higher APY. So I hope you're still with me. It all starts out with the liquidity pools, and then there's the farms, which is basically liquidity pools on steroids, and you also have the auto compounders. Now the thing with the auto compounders is also with Snowball, you'll see here, of course, each transaction costs gas fees. Well, Snowball will actually pay those gas fees for you, but there are a fair amount of fees. Now on Avalanche, of course, the fees are very minimal, but still. So to get out the most of compounding, you generally need to compound rewards multiple times a day. So Snowball automates that compounding process for you and saves, you know, a ton of time. And of course, the extra rewards that is the benefit over something like Yieldiac, which also is a auto compounder, is that you can get those Snowball tokens. This APR can fluctuate because those who actually stake the X Snowball token can actually vote on which pairs will receive the most APR. So you're going to see here this pair, AVAX Roco. It is earning 682% APR because that is what most people voted for. And then you look at most of the pairs on Pangolin, they have like either 0% or 0.02%, which is obviously pretty trash. So you're just getting the APY, you're not getting any Snowball bonuses on top of that. So as you can see here, for like 24 hours I made 0.01 with Snowball, which isn't really worth anything. I mean, $192, you're not gonna make crazy money, and the APY and everything's pretty small. But that is the gist of it. Now that that's done, I'm going to show you guys the pairs that I'm going to get into. Here is Kalo. We get 140% APY, and the Snowball APR here is almost 4%, which is pretty decent. So to get these liquidity pool tokens, we need to go to Trader Joe. And also, before I continue, the Snowball white paper is actually pretty useful. I read through it. It actually helped me out a lot. There's not many videos on YouTube explaining how this stuff works. I didn't even know how liquidity pools worked until like 24 hours ago. So DeFi, it's a crazy space. I love it now that I'm figuring out how to do it. But back to the liquidity pool here, you can see the fees here are a little bit higher than what we saw on Penguin Finance. Now I don't want to go too crazy for Kalo. I have CRA and Craft as my other ones I'm going to be doing. So we're just going to go with 100 Kalo real quick, and then that'd be 0.64 AVAX. So now we do actually have to go ahead and approve this. Okay, so that was just approved. Now we can go ahead and refresh the page, and now we can go ahead and press supply. Because our share of the pool here is much, much smaller, we're not going to be getting as much of the fees. So now we're going to have 6.8 Kalo AVAX pool tokens, which then we can supply onto Snowball. So we're going to confirm that transaction has been submitted, and then once that submits, we can go back to Snowball and deposit that into this pair right here. Okay, so that was just approved. You can see this just popped up right here, so there is a little bit less than what I put in just because of some of the fees. Now going back to Snowball, we can go ahead and deposit what we have. If we do the max here, you do actually have to approve this. Now the downside of this, you have to approve it twice, and then you have to do another 2 gas fees for the deposit, which does kind of suck. So we're at about 22 cents right now. It's going to come out to around 50 cents total. So while this is getting approved, I do want to take a look at the yield yak price. All the way at $15,000, the market cap was actually all the way at like 135 million, and now the market cap is at like 20 million, if that. So pretty insane. Looking at Snowball, market cap is literally only like 4 million, and the fully diluted is 11. It's down quite a bit today, but I mean, this protocol is so underrated. I mean, it's pretty crazy, the returns you can get from this stuff. So I kind of hope to bring some attention to Snowball with this video, help you guys out. I mean, this is pretty crazy with some of the APYs that we can get that are pretty safe. So I'll go ahead and do the deposit part now, which is another small fee. We can just wait for that to deposit, and then we'll be all set. I'm going to do the other 2 pairs, and then I'll come right back to you guys. So as you can see right here, we do of course have the Penguin Finance one that I did yesterday, and then the Craft one, which is getting 355% APY, and the APR for the Snowball there is only 0.62%, so we're not going to be getting much Snowball there, but the share of the pool is not too bad. CRA 153% APY, and the APR for Snowball is pretty darn nice, 65% right there. Share of the pool, not too bad as well. You see I'm at $121 here, 126, and then Kalo Snowball APR of 4%, APY of 140%, $118 put in. That's a little off of my calculations here. Here is what I wrote down. This is what I got going on right now. I put way too much in the Penguin Finance one. I put 1 AVAX there, and it was 95 each last night. That was $190 total, and then you can see the rest here. It's now been almost a week since we started this auto compound farming, so we're gonna head to Snowball and see what exactly happened. Now before we actually dive into this, keep in mind here, if we take a look at CoinMarketCap, everything kind of dropped. So AVAX is now at $80, and the whole market did tank, so all the assets are a little bit less, so that is going to taint the overall profitability. But you can see the APY has fluctuated a little bit. We did earn 0.43 Snowballs for 23 cents, which isn't much, but I mean, hey, it's something. Snowball did also go down 16 cents in the last week. But let's get straight on into this. So for the first one, AVAX and Penguin Finance, we had 2 cents worth of Snowball. We have $208, so that is profitable. I'm just gonna bring this over now. I was gonna wait, but I'm gonna show you guys this. So we have more AVAX than we originally started out with. We started off with 1, now we have 1.253. We did lose some Penguin Finance. However, we did make money, and the reason of this is because of impermanent loss. And I definitely suggest, if you don't understand it, you read through this on the Binance Academy, and also Snowball has a thing in their docs as well that explains it. And the way I'm going to explain it is the balance of the pair needs to be the same. As the value increases or decreases, the value still needs to be the same between the AVAX and, for example, the Penguin Finance. So there's like the ratio, and you will lose a lot over time. However, the way that you actually make money from this is the fees. There's a lot of volume and there's a lot of fees associated with that pair, then you would make more. And also, of course, as the price goes up too, you're going to make some of that as well. It needs to outweigh what loss you would incur. It's a very complex subject, so it can be difficult to wrap your head around it. It certainly is for me, but Penguin Finance actually has been skyrocketing up. They've been releasing some good news. So they're actually up 20% today, while the rest of the market's not doing much over the past 2 weeks. And just over the past week, they've grown quite a bit, which is pretty awesome to see. So anyway, for the Penguin Finance here, we did actually end up making about $18 because we started off with 190. So the next one is Kalo. We started off with 0.65 AVAX, roughly 100 Kalo. Now we're up to 112 Kalo with 0.602 AVAX. We did lose a little bit of Avalanche there, but we did gain a little bit of that Kalo. That is now worth $100.49, which means we lost $16 on that one. Next up, we have Craft, and we got 0.642 AVAX, started off with 0.7, and we are at 19.132 Craft. Initially put in 16.19. That was $126, so we did end up losing $19 on that one. We gained a little bit of Craft and lost a little bit of AVAX. Now for the final one, AVAX and CRA with 141% APY. Ended up with 105 CRA and 0.579 AVAX. It's fluctuated just from a few minutes ago when I wrote this down, but $30 loss on CRA. CRA has just been tanking, unfortunately, so that hasn't helped out. Look at our totals now. With 3.07 AVAX, we actually made 0.03 AVAX, so not much. We did make a little. That's simply because the Penguin Finance one, we made quite a bit there. The other ones we didn't lose too much on, except for the CRA one that was was definitely the worst performer. And then as far as USD value, we are now at $513 and lost $44.64. You keep in mind that of course the market's tanked, so that's going to happen regardless, but this is a really cool way to auto farm. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video and everything did make relative sense. Snowball is a great project. I think it's completely undervalued. Avalanche is one of the fastest growing blockchains right now, and to provide liquidity and get some pretty crazy APYs that are fairly safe relative to the decrease in price that has been happening for Avalanche and for the entire market, and also of course in these microcap altcoins as well. But really cool project. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.